Next up, we're going to look at effects in PIXERA. Effects are located in the resource browser on the left-hand side, and we can click on this triangle here to twirl them down. We can see that they are grouped into several different categories. Each of these categories, if we twirl them down, has a bunch of different effects in them. We can take one of these effects and drop them onto the layer header in order to add them to the layer. So if I take this Gaussian blur, I can click and drag it onto my layer header. I'll sometimes use this object slot here as my target, even though it's not really being dropped there. And if we twirl down our layer, we can see that we've added that effect to that layer. If we click on the clip, we can also see the effects in the effects inspector. I can twirl this down here. I can twirl this down here. These values are the same, and you can see this 100 changing with this 100. So those mix percentages are changing. And then I can turn up the radius or my step size, which will increase that blur effect. We notice there are dominant values here. That means that these can be, if I hit S, keyframed. So I could add another keyframe here that fades this Gaussian blur all the way down. So now I've got a blur effect that starts really high and fades all the way down. We can add as many effects as we want to a layer, but remember the effect applies to the whole layer, meaning that if I were to drop another piece of content onto here, let's grab London, I can click into this clip. The effect won't immediately apply, but I do have access to it. So I can turn that mix percentage up here. We can also copy and paste these keyframes, Control C, Control V, and that'll paste the keyframes at the now pointer. Some other information about effects here. We can always search for an effect in our search bar. It'll automatically pull it up for us, something like a blur or something like a mask. This MaskRGB effect is really handy for when we want to use alpha transition videos. I'll show you that momentarily. All of these effects are GLSL shaders. So if you want, you can always add in your own custom effects. We can navigate to that custom folder right there. And if I hit the plus button, we can see down here, I can add GLSL shaders or some other file extensions as well. I'm going to link to a Help Juice article in the video description that will take you through how to take a shader from something like Shader Toy and adapt it to PIXERA, so that way you can make your own shaders. If you're unhappy with one of our shaders or would like to alter it in some way, you can also just go look at these shaders in the file directory and open them up using some note reader. And this will show you all of the code in that shader, and you could actually alter these min, maxes, do anything you want in here. So this is a great way to start customizing these effects to what your needs may be. So let's look at one other type of effect here. This is wanting to use an alpha transition video or a video with black and white in it in order to achieve some sort of transition effect. In order to do this, we're going to go find a MaskRGB effect that I can bring onto layer 1. And from here, if I twirl this down, we can see I have a mix percentage and I have a sampler. Now, many effects in PIXERA have this sampler parameter in them, which is where we can load in some sort of resource and feed it into the effect so that something happens. So for example, if I go look at this transition in video, and let's play this with VLC. So that's just a black and white clip, and we want to get that to bring that video, this clip, we want that to wipe in like that. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to bring this transition into the sampler, and you can see I get a yellow highlight when I hover over it. So I'm going to let go, and that is stored as a that's showing us that we have a dominant value, though it is not stored yet. So if I'm in the clip and I hit S, that will load that video into the clip. Now, nothing's happening yet, and that's because we haven't churned my mix percentage all the way up. So if I do that, now see that that wipes in. Something you may run into with this is having your play mode in lock to time. And if we do that, we'll see that my video actually loops quite a bit. So if we change that to lock to time, no loop, then we just get the one effect in, and then it just holds. Now, I'm going to go ahead and save that dominant value there by pressing S. And let's get a transition out so that way we can reveal this video, this next clip on another layer. So I'm going to bring this transition out into the sampler, and I'll use my hotkeys, my shift arrow key, to align this right with the start of this video. And if I hit S, we can now drop that transition out into that place. So now if I play through, we should see a wipe out to reveal that London video beneath it.